Imagine building a podcast that skyrockets overnight. Millions of views, celebrity interviews, going viral, everywhere. And then, silence. The audience disappears, the sponsors stop calling, and the podcast, done. That's the story of Bobbi Althoff, a podcast host who seemed unstoppable, until she wasn't. But she's not alone. Today we're breaking down 5 famous podcasts that failed miserably, including Bobbi's own crash. And to understand how Bobbi's podcast started crumbling, we need to rewind to the night she went viral. Bobbi Althoff, from viral fame to fast fade. In mid-2023, Bobbi Althoff exploded onto the podcast scene. Her interviews with stars like Drake, Lil Yachty, and Tyga were awkward, dry, completely deadpan.
You missed your daughter's first birthday for
to be here.
Dark. Regret that you'll never be able to undo.
Yeah.
Horrible parenting.
And people, they loved it. Her podcast, The Really Good Podcast, became a cultural moment. Clips dominated TikTok. Her tone, cold, ironic, borderline rude, stood out in a sea of over-friendly hosts. But by early 2024, the buzz was gone.
My husband sleeps downstairs and I sleep upstairs where the children sleep, and I take care of them all night long because I'm generally pretty tired.
Fans started to question, was the awkwardness an act or what? Then came rumors that her viral Drake interview wasn't so spontaneous after all, allegedly scripted, edited heavily, controlled. That mystery? It evaporated, and with it, the hype. Guest bookings dried up, comments turned negative. Even her biggest fans felt burned. Sponsors stepped back, and Bobbi slowly went quiet across her platforms. The very persona that made her viral became the reason she lost everything. Her awkward mystery became predictable. And once people cracked the formula, they stopped caring. A crash in under a year. But Bobbi's story wasn't new, because another podcast failed before it even began. Burned nearly $2 billion, yes, $2 billion in less than a year. Quibi's podcast disaster. Money doesn't buy listeners. Quibi was supposed to be the future of streaming. Backed by $1.75 billion in funding, it launched in April 2020 with quick hit videos and podcast partnerships.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited.
We're excited to have you as well.
They brought on A-listers, Jennifer Lopez, Reese Witherspoon, even Steven Spielberg. And yes, they even tried to break into the podcast world with exclusive shows locked behind their app. But that was the problem. You couldn't find their podcasts on Spotify, not on Apple Podcasts, not on YouTube. They built a walled garden and expected fans to find the door, but they didn't. By December 2020, just over 6 months later, Quibi shut down.
I think I've just been a bit all over the place, to be honest, and I would love to say that I was amazing from day one, and I was picking all the right stuff. That definitely didn't happen. I had ups and downs.
And along with it, all their original podcast deals vanished. Millions invested, no impact. Their mistake? They thought star power and big money could replace organic connection. But podcasting isn't just a product. It's a relationship, and Quibi never earned it. Now, if you think that was bad, the next one proves that even being world famous and a household name isn't enough to win the podcasting game. Paris Hilton, fame can't fake intimacy. Paris Hilton entered the podcast world in 2021 with This Is Paris.
I'm about to go on stage. I'm very nervous. Okay. Wish me luck.
It launched with fanfare, backed by iHeartRadio, promised deep dives into her life, fame, trauma, and personal growth. It sounded like a win, and at first, it was. But the cracks appeared quickly. Listeners realized the show was overly scripted. Paris sounded robotic, like a brand, not a person detached. It felt like a press tour, not a conversation. Episodes dropped inconsistently.
I'm wearing all white, so I hope there's no blood involved.
And worse, the personal moments felt rehearsed. The intimacy that podcasts thrive on, it wasn't there. And as the numbers fell, the podcast quietly faded. No big exit, no farewell episode, just gone. Even with global fame, Paris proved one thing. People don't just want celebrity, they want connection. And connection can't be outsourced. Speaking of massive platforms missing the mark, our next story comes from one of the biggest audio companies in the world. Spotify Originals, billions spent, millions lost. In 2019, Spotify went all in on podcasts. They spent nearly $1 billion acquiring companies like Gimlet, Parcast, and Anchor. They inked exclusive deals with the Obamas, Kim Kardashian, Joe Rogan. It was a land grab. The goal? Own podcasting. And for a while it worked. But behind the scenes, many of Spotify's original shows weren't connecting. They launched too many at once, promoted shows with thin content. And worse, they forced people to listen only on Spotify. That exclusivity? It backfired. By 2023, Spotify started slashing shows. They canceled dozens, laid off podcast teams, even let go of multi-million-dollar deals that were once their crown jewels. The lesson? You can't buy audience loyalty. You have to earn it, episode by episode. But none of these compares to the next story, a podcast that went viral, exploded with drama, and nearly tore itself apart from the inside. Call Her Daddy. Drama doesn't always pay. Call Her Daddy was chaos, and that's why people loved it. Launched in 2018 under Barstool Sports, it was raw, explicit, and totally unfiltered. Hosted by Alex Cooper and Sophia Franklin, it blew up on college campuses and social media. Merch was flying. Clips were trending left, right, and center. But behind the scenes, it was a powder keg. In 2020, everything imploded. A contract dispute between Barstool, Sophia, and Alex went public. Messy, ugly, explosive. Fans took sides, deals stalled. The show was frozen for weeks. Eventually, Alex stayed. Sophia left.
I'm happy it happened, but I don't look at it and I'm not, I don't have regrets about it.
And the show survived, but it would never be the same. It took Alex years to rebuild trust, switch platforms, and reframe her brand. The takeaway? Viral content can't save you from poor communication and broken partnerships. And if the house isn't solid, even the most viral empire can collapse. Because in podcasting, personal drama kills business.
In business, there was a lot happening where I was living with someone I was doing business with. We were struggling with business. Like, there were so many.
So, what do all these failed podcasts have in common? It's not about fame or money or going viral. It's about trust and consistency. Whether it's Bobbi Althoff losing her audience in under a year, or Spotify losing billions trying to dominate a space they didn't fully understand. The rule stays the same. People listen to connect, not just consume. And in the age of fast content and even faster fame, that connection is the only thing that lasts. Are there more podcasters that failed miserably? Drop their names in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Also turn on the bell notification so you never miss out on our new content. Catch you in the next one. Bye.